Well, welcome everyone to the 2013 eSpeakers Users Group here in, as we've been discussing, lovely weather Philadelphia. We got great weather here today. It's nice outside. We're going to depart from our normal annual users group meeting this time. Normally what we do is we talk about the new things that have been released on your account in the last 12 months, and then we talk about new things that are going to come out during this next 12 months that you have to look forward to and how you can take advantage of those. But we're not going to do that this year. This year we are dedicating the entire 45 minutes to a brand new product we just launched about 2 weeks ago. It's called the eSpeakers Marketplace, and this is going to be one of those, write it down in your journal. You were here when it happened. You were here for the launch. This is going to be it's going to be a big thing with a capital B and a capital T. I think it's got the potential to have a big impact on the industry as a whole in a very positive way. I'll talk about that a little bit more. Use our slide there. All right. eSpeakers Marketplace. It's a brand new way to hire speakers. And Marketplace is a combination of some things, but it's going to become the place on the web that people go. It's going to become the first place they think about to hire the kinds of things that you provide. And it's going to seem new and familiar to you and to the meeting planners who use it, because the concepts in Marketplace are not brand new. People are used to buying things through Amazon. People are used to buying things through, they're used to seeing recommendations on Angie's List. They're used to really easy ways to pay through Google Wallet and PayPal. So all of these things that are very familiar and that consumers are used to when they do business just have never been done in the speaking world before, right? So we're taking all these tried and true business practices and we're bringing them into the speaking world. I'm going to cross the projector here for just a second and twist that so I can see it. There is a way that people have become used to buying and hiring, and you're going to be able to benefit through that as we bring that to the speaking industry in Marketplace. I'll just tell you a couple of things that make eSpeakers different from other directories, including our own. We're the biggest speakers directory out there. We publish your profile at this moment through more places than anybody else. Your profile in eSpeakers right now gets published out through the National Speakers Association. It gets published out through the Global Speakers Federation. It gets published out through about 50 different speakers bureaus that subscribe to us if they choose to pick up your profile and carry you on their website. And so we're the biggest publisher of speakers directories right now. There's a few other folks out there that do that. But there's something significantly different about this new product that we're launching. It's not just a directory. Directories are great at helping people get to Mark's profile and find out what his name and address are and see his video. That's great. But when they go to Amazon, they can read about a product and then they can click buy, right? There's never been anything like that in the speaking industry. We're adding the buy button to your profile. And that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. We're adding the buy button to your profile. These are the ways that consumers, the shoppers, you picture that meeting planner who just spent 2 hours the night before shopping for, a new set of kitchen knives. She researched the web, she went on Amazon, she looked at reviews, right? She wanted to see how many stars were on there. She wanted to see what other people read about it. Maybe there's a video about the knives and how sharp they are. And then she could hit buy, and she could order it right there. Then she comes into the work the next day. She would love to have that same experience, that same ease of use, looking for a consultant, looking for a keynote, or looking for a breakout session. So we're bringing these familiar tools to a new industry. It's end-to-end. We help them find you, we help them contract with you, we help them pay you, we help them review you so that more people will know how awesome you are. This is new. and most of what I'm going to do today is going to be taken up with demonstration. In fact, I'm about ready to stop and sit down at the laptop, and I'm going to take you through the whole process of marketplace. I want you to understand what the buyer's view of this is. I want you to understand how the buyers are going to be thinking. I want you to see what the buyers are going to see, so that you'll know how to make yourself as available and accessible as possible to them. I want you to see what your side of the transaction looks like as well, so that when a buyer hires you through eSpeakers Marketplace, you'll know just how to handle it, just how to get your contract up there, how to get the payment items up there. I want you to be comfortable with your side of the equation as well. So that's what we'll spend most of our time today doing. Just one last point about this. Another reason why we think this is going to be important, and that is that we saw this with music, right? Now remember 10 years ago, in fact, the iTunes store just turned 10. I didn't know that, but it's true, just turned 10. And they saw music sales of music go through the roof with iTunes because it was so easy to buy, right? iTunes made getting music so easy that a lot more music got sold. And my feeling is that the people in this room have a lot of expertise that is not being accessed as much as it could be, right? I mean, you think about the things that you know how to do, the things that you know how to teach audiences. You need to be able to get that in front of more people. There's people who need what you can teach them, but because it's not easy enough to find and hire you yet, they're missing out on that. So just like iTunes, we want to do for you what iTunes did for music. We want to make it so easy to find and hire you for consulting, for your materials, for your keynotes, for your workshops, for your webinars. We want to make that so easy that they use you a lot more than they do right now, right? We want to have the iTunes effect in the speaking world, and we're going to, so keep your eye on that. It's going to be good. We want to see your inbox. We want to see we've got an iPhone app that's going to have notifications on there when you get hired. We want to see that thing dinging all the time, right? So, I'm going to sit down at the laptop right now and go into demonstration mode. I'm going to take you through the life of an event hired through Marketplace. Just bring up my web browser here. We'll go through the Marriott process here. All right, I don't want any, you guys are going to see my room number here. I don't want any 2 a.m. ding and ditch.
We're not seeing anything.
All right, put Joe's name in there. Joe booked the room, so, I got it set for terms. If, on the other hand, you want to send food to the room, or...
All we're seeing is a blue screen, so it doesn't matter.
Order food and charge it to your room.
Oh.
I like the way you think.
I don't like that one so much. All right.
We can't see anything
Oh, thank you very much. Let me switch this over here.
So your information is safe.
about it. We're very
All right, good.
Darn it.
Let's mirror these. And you should be seeing some things now. Good. All right. This is the face of eSpeakers Marketplace. This is the site that we are driving the buyers to. Meeting planners, event organizers, people who hire consultants and who hire workshops and who hire keynotes in their organization. This is where we're driving them to. And we are spending our children's inheritance on marketing to do this. We are doing print ads in big meeting planner magazines. We're doing email campaigns. We're doing postcards. We're buying up AdWords on Google. We're doing big SEO efforts to drive buyers to this site so they will see this screen and begin their search for the perfect speaker. When they come here, they will start with a topic. Let's pick time management. Okay? And let's do a search for time management speakers. All right, this is the main search screen of Marketplace. This is where meeting planners see the results of their search, and it's a very interactive process. Now, the projection monitor that you're seeing there is actually pretty small in resolution. On most computer screens, you see a taller experience than this, so this is a little bit chopped off from what most people will see. But here I have found 274 speakers that speak on time management or self-management. So let's say in addition to that, I want a professional speaker. I want somebody who charges at least $3,500. And I want someone who, my budget's $15,000, so I don't want to go higher than that. So right there I've been able to easily filter the list down, right? I don't want people who, their speaking fee is $500 because they're not experienced enough for me. But I don't have more than $15,000 to spend. Now, let me show you something very interesting. Let's say that I were looking for an event in Philadelphia, PA, tomorrow, Saturday. Now, I chose this example because so many of our customers are here, right? So many of our customers are in Philadelphia tomorrow. I want you to notice something about how the results look now. First of all, they're filtered by distance now. And this little icon shows that Laura Stack is in the area on July 27th. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to fly once and speak twice, right? And so I hope that your phone will start to ring with people who say, hey Andy, I saw on eSpeakers Marketplace you're going to be in Philadelphia on the 27th. Could you stay one more day and do a gig for us on the 28th, right?
And this is being fed through the speaker's calendar.
This is being fed because you keep your eSpeakers calendar up to date. And that's what allows this kind of magic to happen, right? And we can speak twice and fly once. That's good. And it even has a little button there, ask about a local discount. So here's lots of speakers that are in the area July 27th. If we scroll through those though, I bet we'll get, okay, so this is lives nearby. So it will also pick up speakers who this is their hometown, right? Because still get if you can speak in your hometown, that's nice, right? And buyers know that. They know they might get a little bit of a discount on the fee, so that's a good thing. Notice that these guys have not kept up their eSpeakers calendar. So it shows an unknown on their calendar. Much better if you keep your calendar up and it can let them know that you're available or not available on that day. The unknown is a little bit of a turn on. All right, let's reset these search filters here. We'll go back and we'll look for time management.
I was going to say, why does one person show up on top of another?
I'm going to show you exactly why
Okay.
here in just a little bit. And that's a great question. I'm going to show you how that works and how you can raise yourself in that list. So let's say that I come here and I maybe only want to see speakers with video. I can do that. So I just eliminated a whole bunch of speakers now because I'm only interested in those who have video. So already people who have video have added themselves to a shorter list. Let me show you what happens with the meeting planner, how they actually go through this hiring process. In our system, we let them put in an event. Let's say they have a new event. What's a good event? It's the winter sales workshop. Okay, and the date's going to be December 2. Okay, I need a city and state. Who's got a city and state for me?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. It's in the U.S. If I know the zip code, great. Otherwise, I do that. Now, as you know, one event may have several speaking slots, right? They might have an opening keynote, 15 breakouts, and a closing keynote. And I can keep track of all of those here. So for my winter sales workshop, I could add 20 speaking sessions if I need 20 different speakers. I can track each one. We're just going to do the opening keynote speech. It's on site. I'm looking for a keynote speaker versus a breakout or a strategic planning facilitator. I need them on December 2nd at, let's say, you guys don't want to speak at 6, do you? Let's go 1 p.m. How's that? Okay? And we'll add the session. All right, so now for my winter sales workshop, I've got my opening keynote speech session, and I'm ready to go find speakers for that. All right, I've still got my search in here with time management. I'm going to set the price filter again. I want 3,500 through 15,000. And I'll click in here to Gail Cotton. And I see lots of information about Gail. She's a $12,500 to $20,000 speaker. She's got 22 reviews in here, 100% positive, which is wonderful. Here's all of her association membership. She's been speaking 18 years, very busy, did 150 events in the last 12 months. I can see that she's willing to travel to Canada. She's willing to do international travel. She does seminars. She says call for prices on seminars. And I see that she also probably offers a discount to nonprofits, right? So she's been able to tell me all that with her fee range there. I can read reviews about Gail. She's got 3 verified and 19 unverified reviews, and I can read those right there. Those are great. Okay, Gail looks great. I'm going to add her to my short list for this opening keynote speech for the Winter Sales Workshop. Okay, so Gail's in there now. Let's go back to the search. Here's our friend Laura Stack. I've seen Laura speak before. I already know I want her on the short list, so I'm going to add her there. I just clicked on Jones Laughlin. I don't know much about him. Maybe I'll watch a video. Okay, so I sit through a couple of videos from Jones Laughlin. I like what I see. I'm adding him to the short list as well. All right, let's view the short list. Oh, actually, there's one more speaker I need to add to the short list. Let's go back here. I'm going to add one more speaker to the short list here, just so I can do this demonstration. Our buddy, let me reset all the search filters. Our buddy Zeke Ridges. Zeke is our sample speaker. He's the guy we use for tests. And because this demonstration is kind of a test, I don't want to hire a real speaker for this. We're going to hire Zeke for this event. Okay? And I'm going to go view the short list. So the short list is where the speakers do a lot of their work. So they can add as many speakers as they'd like to the short list. From what we've seen, 6 to 10 speakers is a normal short list size. That's the list they filtered through. They're down to 6, 7, or 8 speakers that they're strongly considering for this engagement. And now it's time for them to do some communication. So we're going to write Jones Laughlin. And we're going to say, Jones, are you willing to... What do people ask for? What do people ask you to do? For what?
Are you available?
Are you available? Well, okay, so he has unknown availability. So yeah, so I got to call him and ask him, are you available on this date? Okay?
Are willing to meet with our senior leaders for breakfast beforehand.
Yes, okay, great. So let's ask Laura that. Laura, are you willing to meet?
Okay. Got 2 people that are really struggling. Can you do one-on-ones with them afterwards?
Okay, great examples, okay? And so from this short list, the meeting planner is able to very easily do a lot of communication with the people she's considering for this engagement. Now,
do they get our email address, or is it all inside this?
They do not get your email address unless you give it to them later. This is all an in-system thing. What happens is when the meeting planner sends Zeke Ridges an email, a message, Zeke will get an email to his normal email inbox saying, here's the message. Log in your eSpeakers account to reply to it. Right? It's kind of like the way Facebook works with Facebook messaging. So, what we're doing, and you notice here as well that we've given them your phone number. I've got Zeke's phone number right there. I've got his fax number. I've got his website. I've got where he lives. One of the things that makes this tool different from maybe other ways that speakers get hired is that the eSpeakers marketplace does not try to disintermediate you from the buyer. We're not trying to get in the middle of the transaction. We're encouraging the buyer to connect with you via voice, Skype, via your website, via these messaging. We want you to have one-on-one, real communication with these guys. We don't want to get in the way of that because you're the best way to sell yourself. Nobody knows how to sell you better than you. So we want to give you we want to make that happen as much as we can. We don't want to get in the way of that. Okay, so let's say that a couple of weeks have gone by. our meeting planner has sent messages to these various speakers. I want to show you one other thing that's kind of interesting. Maybe she's eliminated a couple off. Let's look and see. Back to the short list here. Let's say that Jones Laughlin didn't work out. We're going to take him off the list, remove from the short list. Okay, so we're down to 3. 90% more or more of the time, the person who's hiring and researching the speaker does not make the decision by themselves. You guys find this to be true? The meeting planners that we worked with to develop the system told us that almost always they have to consult, or they want to consult, with 3, 4, 10 other people. Maybe there's a committee, right, who's got to approve this. So watch this. This has never been done before. Team voting. I click team voting. Let's have, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the emails of my team. And you know what? Tim, what's your email address?
Tim@kitson.com.
Somebody give me another email address.
Andy@andyneely.com.
Spell your last name, Andy.
Neillie.
Neilioe. No.
LLIE.
LLIE. Like that?
Just like that.
All right. Save the team members. They get a chance to add a little note, take a look at these candidates for our upcoming event, and send. Now you're actually going to get an email in your inbox. Here, this is live. This is real.
I started at the bottom myself, so I got to compare myself to this guy you're sending through.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and what happens is these guys get to go in and vote. In fact, you've got your laptop right there, right? Go in and vote for us. While you're doing,
I just got an email from Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's our
Right.
test. I'm in as a test account here. It's a little sample account. I probably should have changed the name on that. So go ahead and follow the link and vote. And vote Zeke Ridges as first place if you would. Because we need that to look good for the rest of the demo. But so while Tim and Andy are voting, I'm going to go in and I'm going to vote myself. I'm the meeting planner here. I'm going to vote Zeke Ridges as number 1, and then I like Gail Cotton as in 2nd place and Laura Stack as 3rd place. And I'll cast my vote. And you'll see that reflect over here. This is a really easy way. Oh look, some votes have already come in here. Okay, we got 2 votes for first place on Zeke. Andy and Reedster have both voted first place for Zeke. Andy voted Laura as 2nd place, and I voted Laura as 3rd. If there were comments, did you put any comments on there, Andy? Okay. The people who vote have a chance to put in comments, so I could see something that they would have said about a particular speaker. Anyway, you can imagine if I've got a committee of 10 people that I'm trying to get consensus on, this tool this just saved me hours and days, right? This is another reason why meeting planners are going to want to hire through the system. Chris?
Do those that come in blind to everyone, or do they see numbers come up as they are voting?
The people who are voting do not see the results because we don't want to influence those, right? So they don't see the results. Only the main buyer here sees the results.
And for the committee that wants to meet and have a discussion, is it easy to print off a PDF of these 3 finalists so that everybody can?
Yeah, I could hit print right there and they'd have it. The other thing that if you notice in your email, you can also link to the full profile. So in the email that you received as a team voter, you've got links to all 3 of those full profiles. So you can go in and watch the same videos, see the same testimonials, all the same information that the main meeting planner got to see.
Now you keep saying what we have seen has. Have you tested this with some of meeting planners who you've asked to start using it for 6 months or something?
Yeah, while we were developing this product, we consulted closely with a board of professional meeting planners to make sure this was what they wanted. And to a man, they all said, this is awesome. They gave us suggestions for how to make it better. Those are mostly in here and some more improvements to come. But they loved it. They said, let us know, here's our suggestions on how to make it even better. Let us know as soon as it's ready. They wanted it. Okay, once the voting is done, Tim, have you voted already?
In the process.
Okay. Well, let's imagine that Tim has already voted, and he votes for Zeke Ridges as first place as well, and it's time to move on with the contract. The meeting planner is going to say, I want Zeke Ridges, let's proceed with the contract. We give them a warning. We say, when you do this, we're going to let the speaker know that they've been chosen. This is where you get the, you've got money chime on your phone, right? Okay? Select and proceed. And I'm going to switch gears here at this point because this is the point in the process where you get involved. Now, you might have communicated with them before. Hopefully there's been some phone calls, right? You've talked with them on the phone. You've exchanged messages through the system. So this is not going to be news to you in most cases. But here's where you really start to get involved. And I thought about buying 2 hats to make this apparent. But I'm switching hats now, and I'm going to be a speaker. You all right with that? I'm not as good looking as a real speaker, but just
Got
imagine.
a cool stage name, Darth, though.
Is it? Yeah. It's
An original.
good stage name. Yeah, I made that up. All right. I'm just going to open a new tab here. And I'm going to log in as our Zeke Ridges guy, the guy that the buyer just hired. I should use a different voice or something. Should I go British accent to make this obvious? Trust me, you don't want that. Okay. As the speaker now, I have just logged in. And I'm going to go here to Profile Marketing and Marketplace Events. There's some new things in here. If you're a longtime eSpeakers customer, there's some new things you haven't seen in here now. Wait for our internet access. I need to pick the right speaker. Switch over back to Zeke Ridges here.
They would have gotten an email that alerted.
Yes, thank you, Joe. Yes, and you also would have received an email that would have said, hey, this meeting planner just wants to hire you for this event. Time to go in and do some things. So no surprises here. You're going to be informed every step of the way about what's going on. So we're going to go down here to Jobs and Events. This is the new section in the system. All right. You recognize this? The Winter Sales Workshop, opening keynote speech, right? You recognize that from when we put that in as a buyer? I want to go in here now. It's time to go in and do the billing for this. So the buyer said, I want you. We're going to go in now and add some line items to create our invoice. Basically what we're doing as a speaker now is creating our invoice. I'm going to go through here. We're going to do a keynote for these guys. And I want the keynote fee deposit of $4,000. Let's add that in there. And that's due tomorrow. Add it. Okay? And then there's also going to be a keynote fee balance that's due the day of the event for an additional $4,000. Add that in there. I'm also charging for my travel. I charge a flat travel fee of $1,500. Let's add that in. And let's say that I'm going to send out some workbooks. That's also due on the 2nd, and this is for 100 copies of my workbook. And the charge for that is $560. Oh, and I need to put a date on that. That's also due ahead of time. Let's make that due tomorrow. And we'll make this one due on the 2nd. Save both of those. Do y'all find, is that a pretty normal practice in this room to charge half as a deposit, half of the main fee as a deposit?
Yep.
Then when do you collect the other half? What's normal?
Day of the program.
Day of at the program?
Either the day of or along with invoice for travel.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, with this system, one of our goals here in designing this was to make it easy for you to work with the buyer in whatever way you like to work with the buyer. So we didn't want to enforce a system where you can only bill for all of it at once. We didn't want to enforce a system where you have to do half now and half later.
Sometimes they crowd the train too.
Yeah, every situation is different. So when we built this, we said, look, however the speaker likes to work with buyers already, let's just build a tool to make that easier. Let's not force them into our way of doing things. Let's let them do their way and just make it better. That's what we've done here. All right, and you can see, you can track the payment progress on here. We're 0% paid at this point in time. Now, billing settings, this is kind of interesting. As a speaker, you can choose to accept PayPal through the mail, so this would be check or PO through the mail, and wire transfer. Wire transfer, I think most people use that for international things primarily. Not a lot if it's in-house. Anybody right now accept PayPal for a speaking or credit card? Credit card or PayPal for a speaking engagement? Okay. How often do clients pay with that?
Really
right now?
rare.
Very rarely.
Very rare.
You wish they would pay more, or are you happy with that?
Happy with it.
Because you lose some of the fee, right? Okay. What we
It's
heard,
nice to get that envelope when you walk away.
yeah.
Feels good.
I get it sometimes in the large companies that don't want to go, when a department doesn't want to go through purchasing and everything,
Right.
and they want to do it through.
Guess what we heard from our meeting planners? Guess how they like to pay?
They'd rather use credit card?
They want to do credit card.
You just have to raise your fee.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely.
For 2%.
Absolutely. And you know what? You could even add a line item on there. Credit card, a 4% credit card surcharge. Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, just pretend that I didn't say that part right there. We'll edit that out of the video, right? Is it illegal? Huh.
But you can just.
But you can raise your fee.
Right.
Yeah, you can raise your fee. So you'll be able to accept payment any one of these three methods on there, and you can choose which one you prefer. So most of you, I think, will probably prefer mail. That's check or PO. You can add a little message in here that says, I love to get checks in the mail, but credit card is okay too. And you can put in your PayPal ID here. You can
What
put,
if you get it the day, you don't really have an option there though for getting paid the day of the presentation.
no, you do, because when you are building the invoice, the step we just went through, you can put the due date for each item on there.
Well, then you're not getting it in the mail and you're not getting it by PayPal, that was my point.
Right, well, you could get things a combination of ways. The buyer can actually pay a couple different ways. They can pay a PayPal for the deposit and then hand you a check at the event.
I know, but I'm just saying that all you have there is PayPal, mail, or wire transfer.
Oh, so we don't have check in hand as one of those options. Yeah, maybe we need to add that as an option.
Because I think a lot of people get paid on the day of
Check in hand.
presentation.
That's how I usually get paid.
So we do need to add that as an option then.
I would think,
Okay. Amber, you got that? Joe's got it, as long as somebody's got it. Okay, so if you accept PayPal, you can put your PayPal ID right in there. This is your mailing address for checks and purchase orders. If you take wire transfers, you can put your bank and your bank routing number in there. And we'll save this. All right.
Those were general settings, so once you set those, they're saved system-wide?
Yes, those were system-wide settings, not just for this event.
Don't they need the account number too? Like the
For-
routing number?
For a wire? Very astute observation. For security purposes, we did not collect the account
That was gonna be my
information.
next question, but then you need to get that at some point.
They'll need to collect that from you via a separate channel.
Yeah, okay.
Of that. We just did that for security because with that information, people can withdraw as well as
Yeah.
deposit. So. There's also a communication tab, so I can add a new message here. I can say, I'm really excited to do this event for you. Okay, let's send that message. And that goes back to the buyer. All right, the next step after we set up the billing is to upload a contract. Again, you'll write the contract. If you use our Pro system tool, there's a contract writer in there, so that may make it really easy for you, but however you do it, end up with a PDF file, and I'll show you how to upload that. So you're going to generate a PDF file. We're going to say contract for Keynote. We're going to attach it and upload it, and the contract is now posted. This is pretty good so far, right? Easy to do business. If you would also the system does a digital approval via email. If you would also like a countersigned paper copy, you can check this box. I think at this point in time that we'll have some people that want that. Over time, I think that's going to go away. I think paper copies, the need for paper copies is just going to evaporate. All right, so as a speaker now, that's all we needed to do. We've set up the invoice and we've uploaded the contract. Okay? We're going to switch hats. Taking off my speaker hat and putting on my buyer hat now. The buyer comes back to this event, and the contract screen now looks very different, right? The contract screen, I can view the contract. If I click there, that PDF is, I get to see it, right? The PDF that you just uploaded as the speaker, the buyer gets to see that PDF. And they can make a change request. So they can say, new message. Zeke, where's the free workshop you promised, right? I didn't see it in the contract. So they'll send you that message. You'll get that. You'll revise the contract. Oh yeah, I forgot to put that clause in. You revise the contract. You'll post a new copy. It's just, you hit the upload button again, no big deal. And then they'll get a note that says, Zeke just posted a new version of the contract for you to go in and approve. And they'll come back to this screen. They'll view the contract again. Now it's the updated version. And when they like it, they will click this, Approve Contract with Email. And what happens when they do that, yes?
He approves, he updates it himself, the contract?
The speaker does.
The speaker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You as the speaker would update it. Now, there is a facility here for the buyer to upload a new version of the contract. There are some cases, especially in government, where the buyer, the person who's hiring you, has to use their contract. That happens sometimes. So, again, we want to facilitate whatever needs to happen. There is a place for the buyer to upload a contract file. I think usually that initiates with you. Do you find that to be true? 90% of the time you write the contract? Okay. But if the buyer needs to, we let them do it. Okay, so we're not gonna upload a contract right there. Okay, so they like the contract. We're gonna choose Approve with Email. What happens is they get an email in their inbox. It's got a special link that's only good for an hour. They follow the link, it takes them to a web page. They have to put in their eSpeakers password and their initials, and then it's authorized, and we record the number of the computer that it came from, so it's way more secure than sending a fax, which is how a lot of us get our contracts
And this
signed,
is-
right?
But it's only good for an hour.
That link is only good for an hour. If they miss the hour, they just have to come back and hit the send button again, and it sends them a fresh one.
Okay, but if I'm the speaker and I send it to you, you're the event planner,
Right?
and you're off doing something else.
Oh, no, the thing that's only good for an hour, let me see if I can reload this page. The thing that's only good for an hour is when the buyer hits this button. So the buyer comes here and hits this button that says Approve Contract with Email. Does that make sense?
Okay, what if I'm not on my computer for an hour when that comes in?
Won't matter.
It won't matter. So let's say Monday
What's
morning.
only good for an hour, sorry.
So let's say Monday morning at 10 a.m., you sit down at your desk and you post a contract to the event, right?
Okay,
So that happens at 10 a.m. Let's say at 2 p.m., the buyer comes in and they check their email. They say, oh, Julianne just sent the contract for this event. So that's 4 hours later, right? So they sit down, they pull up the event, and here's this button on their screen that says, so they view your contract, they say, oh, that looks great, I'm ready to approve. They hit the button. Now it's 4:30, right? They hit the button, it's going to generate an email that has a special link. That email link's only good for an hour from when they sat down and hit this button. Doesn't matter when you posted the contract. Still no, I'm not connecting yet, am I?
no, because I don't, so that link is good what, for me for now? I don't understand.
No,
what-
sorry.
Buyer.
Yeah, it's for the buyer. So as the buyer, I'm sitting down to approve your contract.
Yeah,
You wrote it this morning or yesterday or a week ago, doesn't matter how long ago you posted
Okay.
the contract. I'm sitting down at my computer,
Yeah.
right? and I'm saying, that contract looks good, I want to approve that.
Okay.
So I poke that button that says approve,
Yeah.
right? That's when the hour starts ticking.
The hour for what?
The hour for me to get the email
Yes?
and click the link in.
Okay, so, that's what I said. So now I'm on the other side. I'm not there when that comes back.
Right, so you'll get a message. Once they do that process, you'll get a
Right.
message that says, hey, the buyer just approved the contract.
Great, but I don't see that till the next morning, so now that link's no good.
No, once they approve it, it's done.
Yeah, once they approve it, it's
I don't
done.
know what the
The approval
hour is.
process is done.
I don't know what the hour length is.
It's,
I
it's
don't-
like a double click confirmation.
Yeah.
It's like when you opt into someone's newsletter, you sign in, and then you have to go into your email and double click it. to
Yeah.
Your TPA sends you something,
Yeah.
that link expires shortly, so nobody else can download it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a security feature. Julianne, you know what? When we
We'll talk.
come see us at the booth, and I'll walk you through that.
Okay.
But for now, don't worry about it. It just
Okay,
makes the
I'm
process
not-
more
I'm
secure.
not.
Hey,
Yeah.
Julianne, I'll come sit with you.
Tim, did I lose you too? Sorry, man.
Tim Julian.
I should have left the whole hour thing
Aaron
out
Nancy
there.
Knight.
So Dave,
Yeah.
all of this is looking great. My experience has been, once we get to the contract phase, everything just kind of happens offline at that point. I generate the contract, I email it to them, they pick up the phone and call me, they print it off, they sign it, they scan it, email it back to me. If we don't complete the dance inside Marketplace, can we still just say this was finalized and it's done without going through the contract
Yeah,
steps?
you can. It is possible to do that, yeah. You can. So yes, you could do it, they could hire you through Marketplace, and you could do those steps offline if you wanted to, outside of Marketplace.
But will it show up, you know how we were back on the screen before where it said how many deals have gone through Marketplace?
Mhm.
So if you don't go through all these steps, it won't show up there, right?
Well, no, the buyer could still hire you through Marketplace doing the contract and payment steps outside of Marketplace, but it would still count as hired through Marketplace. If she
Okay, well, how
initiates
does
it.
Marketplace know that? Because that's an automatic thing that puts those numbers up on your profile.
Right, it would count as a Marketplace hired event if you were on a short list and she initiated the event, if she chose you for the event, right? And initiated, I can show you this offline too, but if she initiates it through and then reviews you at the end, it counts as a Marketplace hired event.
Good.
So you could do these things offline if you wanted to.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. And that's about it. So she can go in. I'll show you payment very quickly. Actually, no, we don't even have time for that. Let's, or maybe I can go back and do it with this other event. Hang on.
While you're bringing that up, at what stage does the percent go to you? Is that a part of the initial?
Yeah, the fee for eSpeakers Marketplace is a 10%
Right,
process.
where, at what point does that?
We send you an invoice for that 10% after the engagement is done.
Okay.
So we don't collect until you've collected,
Okay.
basically. And that question came up, Chris, I'm glad you asked that because I wanted to address this. What's eSpeakers taking all this, right? Why, where do we get the money to market this to buyers and make all these wonderful tools? We
It's
take
not our
10%.
yearly fee.
Yeah, it's not, there's no charge to be in this, right? You can have a free starter account through your NSA member benefit and be in Marketplace at no cost, right? And so it doesn't cost you anything until you've been booked through the system, which I think is a pretty good model, right? We don't earn money until we've made you money.
But we're not going to have any visibility on your system unless we upgrade beyond the free package. We will be at the
Limited.
bottom of those
Yes,
275
yes,
speakers.
Yes, if you want to have more visibility, you can get an upgraded account through us, which does cost, and have a lot more visibility in the system.
Have you talked about speaker tracker?
Not as part of this.
All right, I'm gonna, because he said he'd buy me dinner if I said this. I've been probably one of your first early customers anyway. The thing that, why I write them, or they give $75 a month out of my credit card automatically, is something called speaker tracker. At every speech, what I do at the very close of my speech is say, you know, we had too short a time today for my liking. I would love to engage with you after the fact, in any way, shape, or possible, and I give them a couple ideas. And I come back to this area, or sometimes if I'm back in the area and you'd like to come, as part of my client's investment in the program, I want to give a gift to you. If you like today, and you want to hear me speak again, all you got to do is leave me a card and write ST on the back of it. I give those to my assistant, she puts it in the computer, and they get an email anytime I'm back in Salt Lake, or Pomona Park, Florida, or wherever. And I just got a booking that's paid for my entire time of eSpeakers, because somebody saw I was going to be there and said, will you stay over an extra day and speak? I did zero marketing, except put their name in the thing one time. And so you can go in and you can put in by state.
People who want to hire.
I put in everybody. All it simply says, if you want to hear me speak again, not if you want to hire me. So it's soft sell, and then every time I'm in their area, or if they want to do my entire schedule. So maybe it's State Farm Insurance, a client I've worked with a lot, and they're all over the country. So I've unchecked the state box, or checked whichever it is, and they get my entire schedule. And so if they see where I am, they could send one of their meetings.
Those are actually multi-state.
What's that?
Those are actually multi-state.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
That's right.
So anyway, that to me, all this other stuff to me is just gravy. That to me is the most valuable aspect of it. My
And now you
ability.
have dinner.
What's that? Now I'll have dinner. Thanks, my dinner.
I like you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Or a cool black shirt. Either way.
No,
Honestly.
we'll see if we can do that. All right, I want to mention just a couple last things. We just have a few minutes left. So, talking back about, Julian, I think it was you that asked the question about when we were looking at the search results earlier that the buyer sees, how come some people are above other people, right? I'm going to show you how that works. And the way that it works is with what's called in computer nerd talk an algorithm, okay? And an algorithm is just a set of rules that determine what order to list things in. It's just a set of rules. And Google's got an algorithm that they protect very closely. Because if you know the algorithm, you can work the game, right? If you know the algorithm, you work the game and you make yourself go high. So Google protects their algorithm like Coke protects its formula. I mean, it's a closely held secret. There's whole industries out there that are trying to reverse engineer what Google's algorithm is and help people get higher in search results. So eSpeakers algorithm, I hired a guy to break in and steal eSpeakers algorithm. Okay? I hired him to break in and steal eSpeakers algorithm so that I could share it with you. He broke into the developers' labs, stole it right off the computer.
Is this illegal?
And are you ready to see it? Are you ready to see
Yeah.
eSpeakers algorithms?
Okay, here we go.
Okay. There it is. Okay, I'll leave this slide up for a second. If you want to copy that down.
Wait, let me get my phone.
All right. Now, you know what? Actually, when I first saw this slide, I asked the lead developer, I said, look, these guys aren't going to be into that. Show me one that's clear. Show me one that's easier to read. And so he gave me that. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that work?
I
All
got
right.
it now.
How about this one? Here's the algorithm interpreted for you. Okay? Every speaker in the eSpeakers marketplace has got a score on their profile that goes between 0 and 100 points. That each one of you in this room has got a score right now. Your profile is scored. And this is exactly how it's broken down. And we've got a handout here. Joe, you got these around? Okay, we gave you one to take home because we want you to work the system. We want you to know exactly how to make yourself go higher in the ranks. Okay, videos is big. And incidentally, some of the items on this list are included with your free starter account that you get as an NSA member benefit. And some of the features are included in the Plus account, Plus or Pro, that you would upgrade to. Videos, the other thing I want to say about this is that we chose these points. We've been working with meeting planners and bureaus and speakers for 14 years now. We've seen thousands and thousands of speaker profiles. We've watched meeting planners go through the decision process, and we know what they want. So our algorithm is modeled after what meeting planners want to see. That's how we came up with it. Okay? Videos, 25 points. I've even got a cool green laser here.
Ooh.
If you add other photos, audio, and PDFs to your profile, you can get more points for that. So your one sheet, a sample contract, your writer, room layout, those type of documents will get you more points. Recommendations. These are the other big things. People are conditioned to buy off Amazon now, right? They want to see reviews. They want to know what other people thought about you. So recommendations are a big part of that score. Okay, your calendar actually, having your calendar in eSpeakers and keeping it up to date is worth 20 points of that. So that's a big thing. That I showed you earlier how they can do a location search, right? I could say, show me who's going to be near Philly on the 27th. That's all powered by having calendar events in the calendar.
What does recently mean? Does that turn over every 18 months or something?
It's 60 days, I think.
Okay.
In the system, it's 60 days. There's a place on your profile for you to enter programs, with programs that you speak on. That's worth 10 points. If you just list your fee, if you just say my fee range is 5,000 to 10,000, that's 10 points right there. And then if you tie into social media, at least one social media service, that's worth another 5 points for a total of 100. The guys who do all of these things, and none of these are tough to do, right? The guys who do these things are at the tops of the list when people search for things.
So if
That's how you do it.
if you have 100 and 7 other people have 100, does it sort by most recent activities? Does it sort by closest location?
Good
Does it sort alphabetically? What's
That's
the other sort
That's
criteria?
an excellent question. And I don't fully know the answer to that. I do know that part of that is we do have some preference for how long you've been an eSpeakers customer. So long-term eSpeakers customers have some slight advantage there. So Tim's in great
Tim's
shape
in-
there.
Be Tim's friend.
You 100%?
Probably 60.
So as for the rest of that, though, I'm not sure exactly how it chooses. I mean, I know one of the pieces is if they've done a topic search, right? So they've searched for time management. People who have time management as one of their topics are the ones that will come up in the results. If the fewer topics you've listed yourself under, that gives you a little bit of an edge too. Does that make sense? So somebody who has time management as one of 2 topics they speak on ranks a little higher than somebody who has 5 different topics they speak on.
Say that again?
People who have fewer topics, you can categorize yourself on up to 6 topics. I speak on this and this and this and this and this, up to 6 slots. People who use fewer of those have a slight advantage over people who use all of those. Just because you're more focused on that. The other thing that's important to know is that just like Google's algorithm, ours will change and get modified over time. So if you come back next year and say, hey, this is a little bit different now, it probably will be. We'll adapt to what meeting planners want. We always will.
Will you tell us?
Probably, yeah. We will probably won't announce it, but it's not secret. If you ask us, we'll tell you. And we will probably do it in this users group meeting every year now. We'll go over, here's the latest version of the algorithm, so you'll know. We want you to know.
So I have a
Just
question
email
that, I don't know if it's directly related to the algorithm or not, but I noticed there's a rating, you can have a, percentage thumbs up, thumbs down. If we're putting our own evaluations in there, where did Zeke's thumbs down come from?
Good question. Hopefully you'll never give yourself a bad review.
Here's hoping.
When people hire you through Marketplace, they have an opportunity to review you at the end. And those positive reviews have the strongest weight of all your positive reviews. But that's also the place where you have an opportunity for a negative review.
But why would I pay for a negative review?
Well, they go in there without you.
Yeah, they go in without
I
you.
understand that.
So
I'm
you,
just saying.
so you wouldn't.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm a subscriber to the program, why would I even want you to have that thumbs down on there?
Yeah. You wouldn't, but if the buyer has hired you and you don't want it, right?
But I've paid you a 10% fee, and you're letting the buyer put something negative for a fee that I've purchased, or that I've paid you for. Is there a way for me to screen so negative thumbs don't show up? Buyer didn't hire you, I did.
Not right now.
Or respond?
Not right now. There's a way to respond, and we gave the buyer the ability to change a review later.
Oh, but nobody's gonna go through that, because if you go somewhere and some odd thing happened and they're having a pissy day and they did that, you're not gonna start back and forth with them.
What is the
I
reason?
agree with Mark.
What is the reason for that? Why would you allow them to?
Well, it's the same reason on Amazon that there are a few 1-star reviews on there because something went wrong. They didn't like it.
But the difference is
Yeah,
the
but-
author
but they're
didn't
not paying
pay
you.
Amazon.
Well, the people who are putting products on Amazon are paying Amazon.
So David, so remember when City Search first came out,
Yeah,
way back when?
yeah.
So I'm also in the restaurant business. So our restaurant they came in and they said, we're gonna put all your web pages up on the web for you. And they charged us whatever, it was a lot of money back then, $2,500 a month or something like that to be on the internet, right?
Right.
So we got a less than stellar review from some writer from one of the newspapers.
Okay.
She then took it and gave it to these guys, sold it to them. She was actually paid a fee for that review. And they put it on our City Search site. And I called them, I said, now wait a minute, I'm paying you $2,500 a month to be on the internet and be under your headline in City Search. I'm not gonna pay you a dime more if you're gonna take a review from somebody and add it in there. And they kind of tried to make it, well, it's like a newspaper setup where you have advertising from the newspaper and you also have the opinion section of the newspaper. I said, done, goodbye.
Not if you want my money.
Right, so it's the same principle that,
I
So
hear you.
what we're saying
Hopefully
is
nobody-
take it off, or we're not paying you one stinking more dime.
all I'm saying is
Because you
something
don't
you
want to take
should probably
10%
think
to
about,
get that
because
review.
if you're gonna be a membership, user-based, user fee or company,
Yeah, because that's where you're getting your money from, you're not
I
getting.
mean,
your money from the event
I
plan.
understand it from the marketplace standpoint, if you wanna see pluses and minuses and things like that.
Right.
Maybe you do a star thing or something, 4 stars or 5 stars or
Well, you do it through the allotment.
But I'm telling you
I've
that
read
for some
that.
reason, someone ever gave me a negative review, which hopefully never happened, and I saw it up there, I'd be calling you.
Okay.
You don't want him to call you.
And you don't want a
So
call.
I might drive to American
Mark.
Fork and come see you.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want that.
Okay, good feedback. I appreciate that. That'll be something that we'll want to pick up.
And there's certainly programs where you get, mixed reviews. I mean, I usually have about 5 to 10% of every audience that hate what I do. And unfortunately, the other 90% like it a lot.
Right.
But if that one of those 10% is the one that gives the feedback to the meeting planner, I mean, you'd think the people in the room were 2 different presentations.
Right.
So
And
who's,
that-
Always going to be some weird
Different
outliers.
perceptions,
Right.
the same thing.
so who is, I'm sorry if I missed this, but who is the person giving the thumbs up or the thumbs
The
down?
buyer.
Well, the buyer could be.
But it's the person in charge of that committee who's the one who hit the
Yeah,
link to
it's-
say, I'm
Yeah,
buying you.
it's the one who initiated this. It's the one who hit the link to say I'm
So
hiring
that
Tim.
could be a 26-year-old meeting planner woman, anal retentive, and because I didn't get my handouts or my intro to her on time, she's gonna give me a
That's
thumbs
possible.
down.
That's possible.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Sounds like you guys need to think about the thumbs down approach.
Yeah, we may need to make an adjustment.
If
on
you
that.
want your
I mean,
10%.
Now, if you wanna give it to us, I'll
Yeah,
let you
then
have that.
we'll
You
write
keep the
the
thumbs
link.
down,
Yeah.
we'll give it to us.
All right. Hey, you know what? We love feedback.
Don't forget to
We'll
send
take
us
it.
that email when you take the thumbs down.
That's right.
Make a lot more
Alright.
money.
You'll know what happened in here. All right, we have just a couple minutes left. Want to answer this question? We've gotten this from the meeting planners that we worked with to design this system. They said, hey, why do you guys hate bureaus so much? We're trying to put bureaus out of business, right? Because the meeting planner said, look, you're essentially doing a lot of what professional bureaus do, right? You're giving meeting planners a chance to come hire speakers. And the answer is we don't hate bureaus. We love bureaus. We've got a lot of friends in bureaus. We serve a different market than bureaus do. We're not going to give people, we're not going to have people available on the phone to handhold somebody through and give them personal recommendations. Our system is for people who like to research and hire on the web. If you want concierge service, call a bureau. And in fact, we're going to make some facilities, we have plans to make facilities in here to say, look, if you want more help than this, here's some bureaus we recommend. We want to make some nice handshakes over to the bureau world. We like bureaus. We've got lots of friends in that space. Okay, but we're serving a different market. Our competition is Google, not bureaus, right? That's who we're competing against.
And speakermatch.com someplace like
And
that.
Speaker Match. Actually, we're not competing against Speaker Match. We're friends with them as well. They mostly do low and no fee engagements. And we work with the pros.
What about expert file too?
I see that's
They
not
have
true.
like a bureau type.
Expert file would probably be closer to competition for us. But they don't have the whole hiring process. They're just a directory and that's where they stop. So we're different from them as well. Okay, I'm going to blast through this. Here are a few of our future plans for this wonderful platform that we've developed. Number one, we're going to make a book me button for your website.
Love that.
So that if you want to, you can stick that on there. People can click it, they can hire you, and have this wonderful, safe, protected environment to hire you in, right? As you got to realize that these guys are spending a lot of money on you, and they don't know you, right? This is a big purchase decision for them. So if there's a trusted third party that helps facilitate that transaction, again, we want to make it easier for them to buy your services. And so we're lowering that friction there. A book me button for your website.